What's up, HyperFast Nation? On this episode of the show, I sat down with a wrestling and football coach, teacher, turned real estate agent. He's already building an amazing team in New Jersey. Welcome to the show, Mike Jakubik. Welcome to the show today, Mike. How are you doing?
Good. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you share your story. A great example of, how really people from all walks of life, professions, backgrounds can succeed as a real estate agent. I think your story is really, really interesting. So why don't you tell folks a little bit about your background and how and why you got started in this crazy world of real estate?
Pretty simple. I mean, when me and my wife were buying our first house, I kind of fell in love with the whole buying of the house, searching for homes and checking homes out and seeing different things that people do in their home, different ideas about a home. And afterwards, I kind of thought I could do it. I mean, I'm a fifth grade teacher. I was coaching 10 years, coaching football, wrestling in South Plainfield, New Jersey. And I wanted a little bit more income. So I thought, I watched my real estate agent. She's very good. And I was like, I think I could do this. And I had the common misconception I think a lot of realtors have. Anybody could do it. It's easy. You just take pictures. You just bring people to homes and they do everything. So there's a lot to learn. And I mean, I just fell in love with it. I got obsessed. And now, I'm just trying to build on it. Meeting you obviously helped with my growth and, put me here today. And I'm done coaching. I'm still teaching. So it's definitely a busy lifestyle, but I enjoy it a lot.
Well, I think I think you're right. Anybody can do it, but that's not to say anyone can do it because it's so easy. It's just like
right.
Anyone can do it if you put the work into it, right? If you have the right mindset, perseverance, patience. And I think as a coach and as a teacher, you probably have an advantage because I think those are tough positions. So how do you think that background specifically helped you?
I mean, for one, sports been my life. I've always been involved in sports. I mean, up until, stopping coaching a couple years ago, sports consumed me a little bit. And I've learned from a million different people, different leaders, coaches. It didn't matter along the way. And I think that is a big part of my real estate game, especially turning into having a team. Which we'll get into later. But I think the mindset behind how much goes into working hard in sports to just get a win is very similar to all the hard work you got to put in with real estate and the things behind the scenes that people don't realize go on. But there's so many ups and downs. And I think real estate has all of that. And they kind of coincide pretty good. And then on top of that, building relationships. That's like the number one thing with real estate I found, that if you get along with the people you're bringing out to see homes or the people who want to list homes, if they feel that you're genuine and you're there to help them, I mean, it's easy. And with my two jobs that I had with coaching and teaching, that's kind of all we do. We're assisting people all day. And then fifth grade definitely shows you how to, keep your patience under control.
I can't imagine. What is more difficult, like corralling the fifth graders around, or dealing with a buyer who gets antsy at the end of a deal or whatever?
I mean, I think I would say they're very similar in so many ways, but the fifth graders seem to, you're older, you have a little bit of an authority portion, so I think fifth graders sometimes actually would be a little bit easier. They listen to you, but there are definitely days where you're like, yeah, no one's listening. And then same thing is when a buyer gets into that 11th hour, the hardest part, and then something comes up in the transaction, and even if it's just pushed a day, people get frustrated. Their patients get pressed. They want, buying a home is a lot of people's number one transaction. And once they get to do that, anything that goes wrong or doesn't go the way they want, it could blow up. And keeping everybody calm is the number one goal in both professions. And I think I'm grateful to be able to do both.
What's a good lesson from dealing with fifth graders or coaching that you think real estate agents would be well advised to learn?
I would say number one is be patient. That's you got to have patience no matter what you're doing, either side of it. Mm-hmm. Keeping people calm, not getting too worked up when you're on top and winning, and not getting down in the dumps when things are not going your way. But as far as both of them, you're always learning. I mean, I made the move, and now I'm learning from you, and meeting you is definitely something I'm grateful for. But in the teaching world, coaching world, I was always learning from other guys who have been there, guys I work with, guys that I'm friends with, and a lot of my friends were all coaches, and they, learning from them was definitely a key that helped me in that aspect as well.
How was it starting off? You got your license, you're still teaching. Like, describe that kind of period of from
it was
when
it was tough.
Yeah,
it was tough because I got my license like on a whim. I thought I could do it, right? I talked to someone from like a local office, and I was like, I think I could do this. So I got my license, which I got pretty quickly. I went through the classes quick, and I got it. But I was teaching. I was in the middle of a football season where, we were putting a lot of time in, and I didn't do one thing real estate for probably 4 months. And at one point I thought, like, I'm not going to do this. I'll do it if, someone wants to buy a house and comes to me every now and then. But then I think I was 5-6 months in, maybe, sold my first house, saw the benefits from it and how it helps me and my family. And, after that, it was like I just put a lot of time in. And any minute I got to do real estate on the side of teaching and coaching, I was doing. Anything on the side, I have to obviously balance the home life, but at that point I didn't have kids yet, so things were kind of, I would say, easier than they are now, but then again, now I don't have the coaching. So it's like, it's all a balancing act in my opinion,
How do you balance being a teacher and being you're essentially a full-time agent as well. You're selling more volume than most full-time agents. So how do you balance being a teacher and a full-time agent?
I'm lucky with the schedule I have when it comes to teaching, where our day usually ends, most days it ends at 2:20. So most, I would say, people that go out to go see a home, they're going after their work schedule too.
Right.
Now, not in every case, but it becomes a grind on me more than anyone else, because to them, they're going to see homes after work, and me, I have to set those homes up. So once I'm out of my day job, I should say, then real estate starts. But I also have weekends off, and then the summer, so balancing it is definitely tough, because I'll be honest, balancing my home life is probably the harder part, because I go and I'm teaching all day. When I come home, I can't be out on the road every single day. So I like to schedule things, if I'm doing something on a Wednesday, schedule multiple things on a Wednesday. And then there's my day of work. But, I'm always answering my phone, always in reply to people that are buying, selling, listing. And like you said, it's not a part-time job for me. It's definitely full-time. And I think I've geared it up a little bit more now,
Yeah, I started off part-time as well. I had a government contracting job, and I'd get up early, work, market, prospect, and then most of the showings were after 5 o'clock. So it did work out pretty well. And then I got busy pretty fast, and then was making more money than in real estate and the job, like a lot more. And then I was like, all right, I'm out of here. But
Right. I mean, that's the thing that I think moves everybody most of the time anyway. But like you just said, you pinpointed it. You got up early. I mean, I get up most days at 4:30. I'm up at 4:30, normally going to the gym, but I have other things I can do in that time, that time frame when the kids aren't up, and I don't have to worry about that aspect. Whereas it leaves time at the end of the day to balance family, real estate, and everything else that I got going on.
And it's not just you either, right? Like you've put together a group of agents that you now coach, mentor, train.
Yeah, so right now, one agent moved with me. He's a good friend of mine. We've coached together for years, and now we actually teach in the same classroom, which is definitely a benefit because we're always bouncing ideas off each other. And I've learned a lot from him when it comes to whether it be teaching, life, real estate, a little bit of everything. And I definitely benefit from having him around. And all we're trying to do is grow the team, help other agents become more successful, and show them, that a lot of people can be successful in this business. And growing a team helps because, like you said, if I get busy one day, one of the people on my team can help me out. And with EXP, I mean, there's plenty of agents to help out, but I like the team aspect. I mean, like you said before, it relates back to sports. I've always been involved in teams and I guess you could say mentoring, coaching, all those things. And I'm no guru, but I mean, I'm always trying to learn, and then I'm gonna pass it on down to anybody that's with me and with our group.
What you mentioned you moved. What did you mean by that? Because I don't think everyone listening or watching.
What was that? Sorry,
you said you moved, right?
Oh,
you moved,
right.
and one of your
so
other agents moved with you. Yeah.
So we were obviously, not obviously, but I was at a smaller brokerage in my hometown, and that's where I started. That's where I was at, and we developed. It wasn't just me. There was two other guys with me, but we developed a team of about 8 agents, and all good people. Some like me, all doing a lot of full-time jobs and doing real estate on the side, and now I'm trying to gear it up a lot and move on to something bigger. And I chose to make the move to EXP after I met you. And it took me a while. I did a lot of research. I was questioning everything. There's pros, there's cons, and just like any agent out there, a lot of people maybe have a misconception of EXP. But once I made the move, the amount of tools, technology, everything that's here, coaching, everything is at your fingertips. And with the smaller brokerage, it's not a knock on any of those brokerages, but it's just a different dynamic, and some people are more comfortable with that, which is fine. But I just think if I want to grow and I want my team to grow and the agents with me to grow, this is the place to be.
What do you think the misconceptions are? Just because you brought that up. So
I ran into plenty of them. So many people, other agents I know, because I picked the brains of everybody I was running into. Like, what do you think about the brokerage? So many people. Oh, it's a recruiting firm. It's a recruiting firm. And I was like, that's not true, because multiple people are selling multiple millions of dollars of homes every year. I mean, I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions. And whether it be me trying to ask people to come join my team, you don't have to say it's all recruiting, because if they join the team and they're not selling houses, it doesn't benefit anyone anyway.
Right.
I think that the platform alone has so many tools that, I mean, you showed me almost everything about it. And once you did, I got excited about the move. And now that I'm here, I'm just getting my feet wet, but I've already, I think everything is growing for me as far as my business goes.
Yeah, the recruiting thing is weird because that is a huge benefit of being there, that you can get revenue share and have an income that is non-transactional to you and goes, lasts longer than your last sale will. I think that's a great benefit, but the reality is only about 15% of the agents at EXP take advantage of that for whatever reason, right? 80%, 85% just want to be there to sell homes, to collect the stock awards or have a cheaper model, right? A cheaper commission split cap and all that. So or get the coaching. So there's the 15% that do take advantage of the recruiting, but most aren't, right?
I think that goes back to what we talked about before, relationships and things that are easy for me is talking to other people. That
Right.
comes easy. That comes easy to me. If I call somebody and ask them about, you're curious about EXP, you want to come over here, and they say no or they get mad, that's fine. I mean, there's nothing. It doesn't change anything that I'm doing, and some people just aren't comfortable talking to people about
Yeah.
something like this,
Which
and
is
that's, I
fine.
think, comes in. Yeah, so I think. Um, I mean, something I benefited from was that the fact that you called me right away, and I've seen your schedule. You're one of the busiest people I know, so you reaching out was one of the biggest things for me, and sitting down with you was something that helped me a lot.
Well, I think the ability to sponsor agents and grow without having the brick and mortar, grow outside of your market you're in, grow without physical restraints. It's pretty cool because you can add value to a lot more agents in a lot of different ways, and you just don't have that on the old model. Call it that, the old brick and mortar model. And it's this is a pretty cool model. Yes, EXP agents do sell homes. In fact, in 2022, EXP as a brokerage sold more homes than any other brokerage. So,
Right,
and there's enough big teams moving over now, and top sales teams, and there was a team last year at EXP that sold almost $1 billion. So,
I mean, it's crazy. It's just the way people perceive things. Everybody has their own perspective of everything that happens. I mean, just when I made my move, all the people locally, people text me, "Oh, why'd you move? What happened?" And I'm like, "Nothing happened. I just, it's a growing step in my business. It happens all the time in anything." And I think people got to understand that the recruiting part of it benefits every agent. And if you're in a group, you benefit from so many things with that agent, with that group, and within the agency.
What's the best way for people, agents listening to this, new, old, team leaders, whoever, right, listening to this, watching this, if they want to learn more about EXP from you, how do they do that?
I mean, multiple ways. I mean, mostly I'm pretty active on my Instagram. And then within my Instagram, my link tree's there with all our websites. My website personally is michaeljakubik.exprealty.com. And then I have my, you showed me our Libertas website. That's for the some of the agent attraction, which is also in my link tree. And then my personal cell phone, I mean, anytime anyone wants to reach out, it's 908-405-8761. I'm always open to showing people what EXP is about. And that goes for buyers and sellers to call as well, because like you said, we sell homes.
So speaking of that, you've been over for a couple of weeks. You've already gotten a bunch of listings. I know one's under contract. What do you think is the most important thing for real estate agents to do in the market today?
One of the most important things I think is to stay relevant within social media, contacting people. I mean, I've seen it in my early game of real estate, or early stages, I should say. People forget that you do real estate. Don't let them forget that you're a realtor. Make it known. And don't think, some people get bored with certain things, but they will always remember that you're in real estate, and you have to stay in front of them and show them how much you can help them. Not necessarily just things about yourself, but how do you help them in their next move? And that'll just build a better relationship with anybody that you meet, whether it's buying, selling, investing, or realtors that want to come over.
What are your goals for this year? Your 2023 goals.
One of my biggest goals isn't even more so for me. It's more so getting a good group together to form a team with EXP, and that will help everybody benefit, not just myself. But as far as real estate goes, I want to learn a lot more. I think there's a few stages of real estate I haven't really dabbled in yet. But as far as my sales go, I'm looking to double what I did last year, and I think we're en route. I have 3 listings coming. I have 2 on right now, 1 coming on next week, and a couple more buyers in the works. So there's a lot going on, and a lot of good things have happened since I made my shift.
All right. I always like to end with a HyperFast round. If you're ready for a couple rapid fire questions and answers.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. What's your biggest piece of advice to a new real estate agent?
Build relationships. Talk to everybody you know. Let them know that you're a realtor. Make sure they know you're a realtor, and that you can help them.
What is the biggest mistake you think experienced agents make?
Not staying relevant and getting stagnant. I was in that position for a little bit, and I was only 3 years in. I got complacent, and I figured I got to do something different, and I started to work up the plan to make the move, and that's helped me.
What's something you're doing in your business now that you were not doing a year ago?
Staying in contact with everybody. The benefits from the tools with EXP, I know I've talked about it a lot, but this is my first time really utilizing my CRM. That actually helps.
What's the biggest challenge you've had as a real estate agent?
Losing a deal because of a miscommunication completely, where I didn't know something about my own system that was coming through, if that makes sense, where emails were coming to me, but I never saw them, and I actually lost someone because of that, and it actually helped me realize and learn that I won't ever let it happen again.
What's your 5-year vision, 5-year goal?
I don't know if I want to put it on air, but if I could get myself to a point where I'm doing a lot of real estate and my team is successful, and maybe I could take it on by itself, but that's on the back burner right now. All
right. Well, thank you so much for being on the show today. Before we sign off, one more time, if people want to get in touch with you, how do they do that?
My Instagram handle is _Coach Koob. My cell phone number, 908-405-8761. And then our EXP website is michaeljakubik.exprealty.com.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being on the show today. And to all of our listeners and viewers, thank you for tuning in. Please share this episode with other people you think would benefit from watching or listening. And don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you next time.